Yahoo! Oh, I might need to turn the gain down a little bit. Okay. Alright. Awesome. Hello. Hello. Bible translation time. While y'all were away, or I guess while I wasn't streaming, got back to the Joseph story. So, y'all were here for this Genesis 38. The funny thing is that Genesis 38 happens like right in the middle of the Joseph story, kind of, but completely unrelated to it. It doesn't mention Joseph once. So it's like weird. It's like, why is it there? Who knows? I don't know. Maybe that's chronologically when it happened. But the next part is that Genesis 37 ends over here saying the the Midianimim sell him to Egypt to Potiphar, and then he's a eunuch of the Pharaoh and controls his guard. And then you have this whole other like side story that involves having children and the children growing up to adulthood, like sexual maturity, and then like having sex, and then that happens for three different children, who by the time the second one is an adult, the third one is not an adult yet. So that's like at least like 25 years here, right? Passing in Genesis 38. And then Genesis 39, you get right back to, and then Joseph went to Egypt, and Potiphar bought him, and he was a eunuch of the Pharaoh and controlled his guard. So 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 like I don't. It definitely that time. It's not happening at the same. Is it happening at like the same time? Is the question. Like, is Genesis 38 happening at the same time as Genesis 39 onward, or is it happening at the same time as like Genesis 35, Genesis 36? Because Judah is here in Genesis 37. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Judah's here. Judah Judah's like the one who's saying, "Let's kill our brother." He's the one who's saying, "Let's kill Joseph." And then after that, this happens. So I guess it's happening at the same time as the following chapters, but it's like meanwhile with Judah, sex scandal, sex scandal, sex scandal, weird birth, and then you get here, and then it's like meanwhile with Joseph. It's so weird, so strange. Anyway, how's everybody doing? I'm gonna get to my translation. I just want to get up on my phone the stream so that I can see how many people are watching, um, with a quick glance instead of having to check. So let's see. There we go. Okay. Yeah. All right. God, I keep getting ads. This one's about drawing a cat inside of a fishbowl with a fish in it. I don't know why that is the way it is. Anyway, as soon as the stream loads. All right. Great. So, where are we now? Let's see. No one is greater in this house than I. So, okay, so basically, let me recap what happens. Um, so Joseph is in Egypt, but God is with Joseph. So God like makes Joseph prosperous, and the even though he's a slave, and Potiphar sees that and is like, oh my God, he must be blessed by God. I will make him the manager of my house. So what ends up happening is that even though Joseph is still like a worker for Potiphar and Potiphar owns the things, Joseph is in charge of everything in the house and the house itself. He's like in charge, you know? Um, Even though he doesn't like own it like legally, he's like put in charge so that Potiphar can only care about what bread he eats, right? That's what they say specifically. Like Potiphar only wants to be paying attention to what bread he eats. So he has all the money and he's paying Joseph to manage his money for him. Um, and then Potiphar's wife gets the hots for Joseph and is like, "Hey Joseph, have sex with me." And Joseph's like, "Look, your husband put me in charge of everything in your house, but I don't think that includes his wife." And then what's going to happen is that she's going to get mad and then accuse him of sexually assaulting her, even though he did not do it. At least it doesn't say in the text that he did that. So, um, why am I translating God as Hashem? I'm actually not translating God as Hashem. I'm translating a Hebrew word, which is the tetragrammaton, as Hashem, because the there are two ways. Okay, let me find it. Where is it? Let's see, so I can explain better. Here we go. Right, this is the word that I'm translating. This is a proper name. We actually don't. Number one, we don't know how this was pronounced originally anymore. And two, it is disrespectful to say this out loud or to spell it like this on paper, or like on a computer if not used for educational purposes. And it personally makes me uncomfortable to see it like that. So I've been using alternatives. So there are two alternatives you can use. The alternatives you can use are Hashem, which is the name. Ha means the, and Shem means name, right? And then there's Adonai, which means my lords. I mean, it literally means my lords. Adoni. Adon equals Lord. And then ah equals plural, kind of. And then E is my, right? So these are the two options you have. Adonai is used in prayers and by religious Jews who want to, instead of replacing the name with something that describes what it is, want to say that it is referring to their Lord. In prayers, you might hear like older Jews say Shmo, which means his name. Shemo, Shem, O. O means his, Shem means name. So Shmo means his name. Like you might hear in a prayer, Baruch atah Adonai, and then an old person goes Shmo, because they want you to know that even though we're saying Adonai in a prayer to praise God, and it means my Lord, we're actually, it's a stand-in for his name, right? I prefer Hashem for this translation because it is markedly more secular. It means the name. It does not mean my Lord. It does, by using this in this translation, I am not declaring that he is my Lord. I do not think that my personal religion is necessarily relevant to this translation. It might be relevant to some people who are interested in like the history of the project itself, but if I was using Adonai, I feel like I would be imposing a little bit. Hashem, I think, is the perfect balance. So Hashem is actually like, this is how I would Romanize it from the Hebrew. Because there are no long vowels. If it was like Hashem, it would be like that, but it's not. So it's like that. Adonai is actually like that. In my consistent Romanization conventions over here, which I'm pretty sure I've stuck with this very consistently. Anyway, that, I hope that answers your question about why I do that effectively. And I hope it's clear that this is not a form of proselytization. This is just for my comfort and the comfort of other Jews, which is really all we ever ask for. So it was as she spoke to Joseph day by day. Okay. Whenever there's a so it was, this is always Vayhi, which means which does mean it was, but like I always kind of leave it out. It usually segments the verse into two parts, like kind of like how Lao works. Like over here, it's like, so it was as she spoke to Joseph day by day. It's literally, it was as she spoke to Joseph day by day, and he did not hear her. How I translate this structure into Tokipona is I ignore this part and I ignore this part and I just say, she spoke to Joseph day by day. La, he did not hear her. I know it says heed. This means to hear. Um, it's being used to mean heed here, but it more directly means hear. Mm, yeah, I would not. I don't like it when people transliterate the Tetragrammaton into Tokipona. It's always weird to me because it's like it's a Hebrew word, you know. Like honestly, I would want people to transliterate Jehovah more than that. Like Jehovah, um, Siri, Seoa, because it seems more removed from Jewish tradition. Um, I think it's disrespectful to the Jewish tradition to transliterate a name that Jews consider to be like uncomfortable to pronounce out loud or hear or see written necessarily, you know? Oh, Elohim doesn't really mean judge, it just means God. Same with El. So El Shaddai is Almighty God specifically. Elohim is just God. El Elyon is God Most High. A lot of these have El in them. El means God, like literally, like as a word. It's used as a name consistently, but yeah. In order for it to be judged, like I guess like Adonai or Adoni, which are both used occasionally to refer to God, could mean like my Lord, but that's less of a judge. I don't know if there are any terms specifically that talk about like God as a judge, because that would be like mishpat is to judge, um, or shapat is to judge, and mishpat is a judge. And I've never heard anyone refer to God as mishpat before. Maybe there's something like they're like 9 attributes of God or something. But that only comes up on Yom Kippur, and I've only actually been to one real Yom Kippur service, so I'm not the expert on that. I did partially lead the service, so that was fun. Let's see. Onari Toki, Tawayan Yosef, Nonsuno Mute, La Onari Kuteara. Um, Eona Tawani. Onaliun Paona. Lihiot? What verb is that? I must double check. Oh, it's just haya. Or to be with her. Umpaona. Lilon ona. I think I'm gonna use all here because it's not something that happened. It's something that that didn't happen specifically. So and it's something that she wants to happen. So he's not listening to her with regards to he should have sex with her, he should be with her. I don't think El was a separate Canaanite god. I think El literally just means God. And like Elohim is the plural of El, so it means multiple gods. Originally, this is like pre-Bible. Um and even in the Bible, the word El and the word Elohim are both used in the singular to refer to gods that are not the God of Israel. Um So I don't think it's accurate to say that El is a specific separate Canaanite god, but I could be wrong. Maybe there's cognate. Yeah. Okay. About time. So this is like, and then as today, this day. Yeah, this day. If it's just Hayom by itself, it means today. But if it's Hayom Hazeh, it's this day, which could be that day. You know, it's fun how like ni works better than this because you don't have to worry about it. You know. Mm, let's see. Um, Sono ni dayan. Uh, oh, it says that when Joseph went, but it's actually just he came. Onarikama lantomo. Tawa tomo. The reason why I'm choosing tawa here is because this is habaita. The a over here means towards. Habait by itself means the house, and then the a at the end means towards. So it turns into like a little adverb, kind of. Tawapali ona. We have to do his work, and we can condense that all into paliona. Uh, yan tomo. This isn't and not a single of them. Well, it is, but it's like and not a man of men of the men of the house. Yan ala hikulupu pali tomo. I think I'll do that. Lilon tomo. This isn't inside. This is in the house. So lon tomo works. But I guess insa tomo makes more sense because he's going inside the house and maybe the workers are outside of the house, you know? But then they're still like at the house, you know? They're not like, you know what I'm saying? Mm. Oh, we got that she caught him. Let's see what this to seize. This is tafas. Tafas. Lay hold of, wield, seize. I don't really know what lay hold of is in English. It seems archaic. But this is this the first time it comes up? No. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is used in Genesis 4 to refer to those who play the lyre. So it can be used to refer to people like musical instruments, like playing a musical instrument, but it can also be used to mean like to grasp somebody by their clothing, which is fascinating. Quite fascinating. Um, onari kama yo no. I'll put a la here. Okay, the interesting thing with Hebrew is that often it will use the gender of pronouns and inflection to distinguish between masculine and feminine. So I believe it is appropriate in Toki Pona too in cases where this helps and it is wholly unclear from context, like in a problematic way in this case, to use meli like as a pronoun almost. And the reason why I believe that is because if we don't, then it seems like Joseph is grabbing her. And it's very important in the story that he did not grab her, she grabbed him by his clothing. So non len ona di toki e ni. O un paemi. And I don't know why there's an exclamation mark here, because it's just, this is just like basic bitch cantillation, you know? Like, these are like the two most common cantillation markings. So it's like, it's not, I don't know, maybe she's yelling, but like, it's not like the punctuation would be that, you know? Anyway. So, only, okay, to leave. Azov. Via Azov. Azav. To abandon. So, weka. Only weka, elen ona. Lon Luca Meli. What ends up happening when you use these as prepositions is that ona becomes kind of a masculine, and then meli becomes the feminine third person pronoun. And this is not always the case. I think this is not consistent enough to like be analyzed that way. But in this sentence, for example, meli is being used in much the same way as ona, and ona is being used to refer to a man, and meli is being used to refer to a woman. I don't have a problem with that. Other people might though, which I think is interesting. I don't think they should. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But also, like, I'm not gonna like argue with them too much about it. You know, like I understand why it's a big deal to them. Litawa weka. Litawa wawa. Tawa weka tamo. And this does mean, oh, whoops. That's not what I wanted to do. This does mean outside. Chutz. Ha chutza, the outside, towards the outside is what's going on here. It says that it's like third person feminine singular, but if it's a place and it ends in a third person feminine singular, it doesn't mean her outside. It means towards the outside, which this gloss is not amazing, but it is helpful to me, so I'm using it. Only looking at me. Only I'm gonna keep using Manny because she's the only woman in this story. You know, like there are lots of men going around, but the last woman before this one was Dina, and the next woman I think might be Moses's mother, perhaps, or maybe Joseph's wife, but like she doesn't talk that much. You know. uh, he had left his garment Oneliweka e len onalon luka meli litawa weka tomo. Nameli li. This is kara, which means to call out or to cry out. So I'm going to use mu. I bet you weren't expecting that. Nameli li mu. Tawayan pali hitomo ona. And this isn't yan pali, this is just yan, right? But yeah, okay. Litoki en ni. Litoki tawa ona en ni. Oh, looking. So the he here, I'm assuming, is Potiphar, right? Onali kama eyan pi kulupu ivri. Now this is interesting, okay? Because a Hebrew man to mock us. How does she know what a Hebrew is if literally like Joseph's literal father is the one? Oh, it's Hebrew, not Israelite. Yeah, that's another reason why I wanted to use Hashem instead of Adonai, because Adonai is actually used sometimes, like on occasion. Weirdly enough, it's I've only so far I've only seen it used by non non Hebrews, like non like someone who's not a member of the like lineage of Jews, I guess, like Abraham and onward. But that also includes Arabs though, and like a bunch and Moabites. No, not Moabites. Yes, Moabites. I don't know. It contains a lot of groups, but like markedly, these people are not part of those groups. The ones who refer to God as Adonai, uh, when they're blessing Abraham, like people bless Abraham and call God Adonai, but like that's the only time people use the word Adonai to refer to God in the Bible. It's very uncommon. Um, but originally I was actually putting the names as like I would do the Tetragrammaton as like Adonai, and then I would do like I don't know Isaac. Isaac is like that, you know. That way I could find and replace everything later. But then I decided, you know what? I think I know exactly what I want to do. I want to have the names untranslated because I think the original names will be recognizable enough. And I can just have a glossary at the end, like saying what they are in like major languages, like English, German. I think the English ones are probably all the same as the French ones, right? I know a lot of the German ones are different because I know Job is Hiob, right? But I don't know. One sec. Maybe there's a resource on this. Biblical names in various languages. Oh, this is in their native languages. Okay, so Aaron in French is Aaron. Okay, this isn't helpful. Maybe this isn't helpful. Oh my god, wait, Aaron is Haroon? Haroon is Aaron? Aaron and Haroon are the same thing? What? That's insane. I know that Ibrahim and Abraham are the same, but like Ibrahim is almost a different character because he's in like a different book and does different things. But anyway, wow. I didn't know Haroon was Aaron. My point is it would be fun to list people's names in like as many languages as the names are different at some point in the book so that people can like look and see, oh, this name's referring to that guy from my sociolinguistic background. And like let's be honest, most people will know the English names and the ones that don't will probably know one of the other European language names or the original Hebrew or the Arabic. I will be providing Arabic. Um and Arabic romanizations and stuff. But yeah, I don't see that many people being like, "Oh no, it's not in Chinese. I don't know who this person is." Maybe Chinese specifically, but there aren't too many people who would be interested in reading the Bible in China, but they might if it's like one of the largest pieces of literature in Toki Pona. Like I know that the Bible's been translated into like over 4,000 languages in part or in whole. So, you know, a lot of people might be like, "Oh, I should look at that for this language." Cuz like reliably if there is a language, you can find a Bible translation in it. And if you can't, it's like, "Oh, this is one of those tiny little languages, you know?" Like all the main ones got missionaries working on translating the Bible into their language, at least in part. And usually when it's in part it's the New Testament, but whatever. Um Yann Piccolo Ivry. But this is interesting, okay, because Ivry comes from like the word Ivrit, which means like covenant, kind of, right? Oh, but over here it says it's from Eber, which means beyond. So it might not be related to that, even though they are the people of the covenant. I know in the text it's like presented as if the word Hebrew as a gentilic adjective, which is like an adjective for an ethnic group, refers to like the ones that are descendant from the covenant. But also, God makes a covenant with Noah, and all humans on earth are thought to be descendants of Noah. Uh, Specifically, all of the ones around the Middle East that are a little bit towards Asia, a little bit towards Africa, and a little bit towards Europe. Because those are the only ethnic groups that exist, you know? Like, they go over this in, like, Genesis, I don't know, like 9 ish? 10? Yeah, so there's Japheth, Yafet, who gives birth to like all these people, including Ashkenaz, who we don't actually know what ethnic groups any of these refer to. Um, we know that Kush refers to like Ethiopia. Um, though we call the Kushic languages are Somali and related languages, not Ethiopian languages. So that's weird. Anyway. Shem is like the ancestor of all of the Semitic groups, which is supposed to be all the Asian ones, I guess. And then in the Bible, Israelites are quote unquote Asian, but that's only like if you want to do Africa, Europe, Asia. And they weren't dividing the world into those three categories back then. I don't think. At least not definitely not as much as they were doing during the Middle Ages when people started to try to figure out which ethnic groups were the Japhethites. And let me tell you, everyone had takes on this. Um, like Wikipedia actually talks a lot about this. It's like where is it? Yeah, here. It's like here's someone saying these are the different ethnic groups that come from Japheth, and then there's more stuff, and then people people trying to do anthropology to it, and then also look at this justification for the enlargement of European territories during imperialism, right? But also there's nothing in the text that suggests that the Japhethites are actually like this is as far as we get. We get that some of them are Greek and a lot of them are in Turkey and some of them go up into the Caucasus, right? That's it. Um, we don't get anything about the rest of Europe. So I should get back to translating. I'm getting distracted pretty much. I'm the IPA bracket guy. Yeah, I am the IPA bracket guy. I hope that people are using IPA brackets correctly now. I hope I made an impact. I hope that I hope that I've annoyed some intro to linguistics professors by having like annoying people in their classes raising their hand and being like, "But that's not what that bracket means." I really hope so because I think that it's genuinely like misinformation to teach intro to linguistics students that brackets are used in a way that is different from how they are actually used, even if it's just for pedagogy, quote unquote. Anyway, anyway, Tamakas. So this is Tzachak. This is actually Isaac from the Bible. This is his name right here, Yitzchak. But it's the PL, and I'm pretty sure that Isaac's name is Pa'a, which just means to laugh. PL means to like jest or play, sport or play. So like this is like if Isaac's name was like extra, but then also an infinitive. Tawa ni ona di mumusilon me. So the reason why I'm translating it like that is because the base word does mean to laugh. So even though it does translate to mock in English, in a language that doesn't have a word for mock, it is just kind of like a more intense version of laughing. It's like instead of just laughing, it's laughing at somebody, right? So onari mumusilon me. And then now over here, she's going to describe something that did not happen in the text. Who knows? Maybe the story is actually real and this did actually happen, or maybe the story is actually real, but also Joseph is an unreliable narrator and he did actually do this. Who knows? I don't think that any of this actually happened. Um, I just think that the story is really interesting, um, and fun. And I think it's really cool that it's a really old story and we still have it. You know, like it's over 2,000 years old at least. That's incredible. Anyway, um, only only un poemi. Okay, so here's the thing: they never use like a word for it to have sex. It's always he came into me or he lied. He lay with me. But here it's he came in with me to lie with me. So it's like he had sex with me to have sex with me. I've been like consistently translating both of these when they're separate from each other as umpa, which means to have sex. Um, so what do I do when it's both of them? Mm, maybe if I do ona li wile umpaemi, the umpaemi, because over here, this to lie with me, it's like for the benefit of to lie with me. You know, like I often translate this kind of construction as li wile, right? Someone does a thing and wants to do this other thing, right? That says did the thing to do this thing, you know? That's a good translation of that. Over here, the only thing I'm doing is I'm just switching the order around. I'm like putting this before this, like over here, you know? Thereby moving this stuff like, it's not letting me drag it. Moving this stuff over here. Yeah. Um, Mimu wawa lon musuli. Okay, so I think I think in this case toki makes more sense than mu because in a big voice is like musuri, and cry out like to call out can be a type form of toki, and here she's attempting to communicate. So I think more clearly it is toki here than it was before, especially because we're also using lon musuri. That way we can have four different words instead of two of the words being the same. And that's always a treat in Toki Pona because we have so few words to begin with, which is the gimmick of the language, the only thing that sets it apart from others. For my capstone project in college, I'm going to have a slide explaining why Toki Pona is interesting because I'm doing my capstone presentation on like cognitive psychology and like why Toki Pona might be interesting for that. And it's going to be like titled all the things that sets Tokipona apart from other languages, or like what makes Tokipona special, and there's going to be one bullet point and it's going to be has about 120 words, and then the next bullet point is going to be empty, and then the one after that is going to be empty, and I'm going to be like, I thought there would be more, and then people will laugh, and then I'll move on to the next slide. And it's going to be really funny because people are always trying to market the language. Anyway, okay. Oh, so she's still talking. Onarikute ni mi. Okay, to lift. Harimor. Harimorti. Harimoti. Harimoti. Okay. Ooh, it's a room. It's a hollow verb. To be high or exalted. Okay. But in PL, it means. That's poel. Where's PL? That's polal. What is polal? It's probably one of those weird binyans. I hope this is interesting. Pa'el. Why are there so many hafel? I've never heard of half of these. It must be because it's a hollow noun. Those are like, or hollow verb, not hollow noun. But I can't find PL here. Um, hmm. Interesting. Interesting. So they don't have that. Oh, it's he feel. It's not even. Okay, I misread even. Wow. Okay. He feel. It means like to raise or lift, like of a hand or a voice. Okay. So I think in this case I will translate this as suli. Mi suli, emu mi, the muwawa, nila ona li weka len ona lon mi li tawa tawa wawa tawa weka tomo. Okay, 16. Uh, ona li awen yo. Okay, va Tanakh. Well, I know that this isn't the Tanakh in like the book, the Tanakh, because it's spelled differently, but I want to know what the verb is. Yanach. Oh, because it's she, so the T is added. Okay, I should have known that. Okay, there's no BDB entry for this. Uh, hmm. Put him into the Garden of Eden. Let's put. Does this bring us to the same? Okay, but there's no entry for BDB. Okay, well, I guess that's weird. Ona di awanyo len ona on poka ona. Hmm. Yeah. So this might make it seem like she's keeping his clothes by him, but I think in the context it's clear that this ona does refer to her because she's not with him. Tawani. Uh, Yan lawa ona di kama tawatomo ona. This isn't just home, this is his home. This is me proving to you that I know how to read Hebrew actually, and I'm not just like pretending with the gloss, you know. I do know how to read the Hebrew itself. The gloss is just like infinitely useful for speed, and speed does matter here because look how much Bible there is. Like I've done so much of it already, and I still have this much more to do, and then that's just Genesis. And then I have this much more to do, and then that's just Exodus, and then I have Numbers and Deuteronomy and Leviticus and so much. Okay. Melody awen yo len ona lon poka ona. Hmm. But if I use meli here, it's like meli awen yo len ona lon poka meli. Then that's weird because it feels like this ona is referring to this meli, right? Maybe I do ona Yosef here. I can do that. Yeah, that works. Ona li toki tawa ona. With words like these. But that's not what it means. It means like these words. Samani. Samani. Yan pali sina pikulupu ivri li unpaemi. No. Okay. So the structure here is weird because we have a what's it called? We have a relative clause in the Hebrew, and toki pona relative clauses are really difficult to embed well. So we're going to change the sentence structure. Sina kama e yan pi yan pali ni pi kulupu ivri tawa ni. Ona li mu musi tawa mi. Ona li mu musi lon mi. Uh, ona li unpa e mi. And that works. Mi suli e mu mi li mu wawa la ona li awen e len ona lon mi li tawa wawa tawa wega tomo. Jan lawa ona li kute e toki pi meliona. Which she spoke. Okay. Um, I'll be honest. Wait, okay. Saying. Wait, okay. Huh. Haere. So, with these words, kute toki pi meliona, la nimi ni. I think that works because it's like what's actually here is like when his master heard the words of his wife. That's correct, which she spoke to him, saying, uh, like these words. So it's like when he heard his wife speaking to him with words like this, kind of like in this way, I guess. Maybe this is a good translation. I don't know, but it's not like direct, you know, because this is kadvarim ele. Maybe it's like that because she's lying, but also like we don't know that for sure. I mean, like if we are to believe the text is a reliable narrator, which I guess like is a lot of the point of why most people read the Bible in the first place, is they assume that the narrator is reliable. Um, then we are to assume that she's lying because the things that she's saying happened never did. It's weird. It's really interesting, but like I also do think it's completely valid. Like it's a completely valid translation to just assume that she did uh she did like attempt to convince him to have sex with her, and then when he said no, she accused him of sexual assault falsely, right? That's kind of what happened. But she didn't sexually assault him, and she wasn't like trying to seduce him like as a woman would, you know? Like I think she was just being a bad actor. I think a lot of people get out of the story that women are seductresses, and I don't think that that's necessarily something you need to get out of. I need to get back to translating. Oh my god, I get distracted so easily. Um, Animini. Oh, actually, okay, I misread this verse. So when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spoke to him, saying, so now this is what she's saying. Um, she's saying, like these things your servant did to me. So ona rikute toki ni pimeli ona, yan pari sina the ion ni tawami. There we go. See, this is why going on tangents is fun. It's because you get distracted for a second and you look back and you're like, oh, I completely misread that. That's why it wasn't making sense. And now it does make sense. Oh no, I pressed the button. Okay. Okay. Verse 19. Um, so over here, was kindled his wrath. This is a really funny way to translate this. This means to become hot. So, and was kindled is a fine translation, I think. But this doesn't mean his wrath. This means his nose. Because in biblical Hebrew, the phrase his nose became hot means he became angry. That's one of the ways that you describe anger is the heat of somebody's nose. You can also just describe somebody's heat in general, like he became hot means he became angry. But if you want to like extra hammer home that somebody's angry, or you want to make it super clear that they're angry, like they're specifically angry, you say that their nose became hot. Uh, Nila. I'm still gonna translate it as like onari kamapirin utara. But I am gonna also add a footnote. Nena sinpin onari kamaseri. Tempo arela niri toki pirin utara. Okay, good footnote. So the footnote basically is there so that people can see that originally it means his nose became hot, but I'm translating it like this, um, because it would be very weird to see in Tokipona that like, oh, his nose became hot. That's an idiomatic expression from another language. It doesn't make any sense in Tokipona. Mm, Yan Pali, Yan Yosef, the okay, took Kama ona Kama yo e ona, because this is lakach, lakach, which is like, right? Yeah, lakach, to take. Um, Lipana e ona tawa. Okay, this is fun because this does mean prison, right? But it's like house of. It's been a while since last time I read through this, but like this was kind of a big deal of like the way they talked about it, like roundness. Um, the roundhouse, name of a prison, but perhaps an Egyptian word hybridized. So this is really interesting. I'm still gonna do Tomo Awen, right? Tawamani. Prisoners of the king were confined. Okay, so this is Sohar, and this is Surim. Asurim. So you might look at these two and be like, oh, those look like they might be the same word. But it doesn't seem like they are to me because this one means like roundness. But does this one also mean roundness? No, because that's saviv. This does mean to like bind or imprison, asar. But this it doesn't come from that. This isn't related to that. And this is though. This is like the prisoners, the ones who are confined, were confined. So like to bind to imprison. So the imprisoned ones, like I guess just Yan Awen works, right? Yan Awen, Pian Lawa, the Awen. Onali lon mani, lon tomo Awen. Okay. I think that this is clear enough that he's in jail because it kind of repeats it a bunch, but it's like it might seem like he's in the waiting room, you know? However, he was accused of sexual assault, which in this case, I think the thing that matters more is adultery. But honestly, I think the Hebrew Bible is pretty clearly against sexual assault too. It just like sees sexual assault and adultery as like more the same thing than we do today in our society where like we're okay with premarital sex, and like in ancient Israelite culture they were not okay with that. Like they have laws about stoning women to death if they get sexually assaulted and don't cry out loud enough if they're in a town. I was reading that on stream the other day. That was pretty fun. Um, anyway, okay. This isn't really but was. This is just and it was so that I guess. Sewi Hashem Lilon Poka Piyan Yosef. The okay to show Vayet. So this is just a tav, nata. Stretch. Oh, this one, yeah, to extend. Um, chesed. Chesed. So this is like kindness. Pane pona. Tawa ona. Di pane. Okay, so this is fun because there's another idiomatic expression here. To find favor in the sight of something is an idiomatic expression in Hebrew that means that something likes you, right? If I find favor in your eyes, in Hebrew, in English that just means you like me, right? But because it's an idiomatic expression that works via metaphor, you can play around with it. So God gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. This means God made the keeper of the prison like him without using a causative. It's really interesting how languages can like do stuff like that. So I'm still gonna translate it as if it was just like God caused this guy to like Joseph. So Yalawa pitomo awen. Ona di kama pona. Tawa yan lawa pitomo awen. Okay, so this is interesting. I don't really know what the word committed in English would mean here, but this is just natan as far as I know, which just means to give, which is also the etymology of the English name Nathan, one who gives, or one who was given. I'm not sure which, but that's what it means originally. It's directly from that, which is pretty cool. Let's see. So, uh, Yanlawa Pitomo Awen Bipana e Yan Awen Ale Pitomo Awen Tawayan Yosef. And the question is like, why is he doing this? And what is it? What exactly is it that he's doing? He's doing this because God made him like Joseph, but like, what exactly is he doing by giving all the prisoners to Joseph? Like physically, what is the actual action that he's doing? Um, huh. Let's see. Okay, let's collect our thoughts. So he's giving all the people of the prison, all the prisoners of the prison to Joseph. So in the hand kind of means a lot of things: into the possession of, into the control of, into the stewardship of, into the pasturing of, right? Like it's this means like so many things. And all that they did there, it was his doing. That is what this means. But it doesn't mean. Okay, he's also giving and all that they did there to Joseph, right? Because this is like the direct object marker. So he's giving all the prisoners who were in the prison, and he's giving all that they did there. And this is osim, they did. So like they're doing. Oh, are you Joseph? That's awesome. Yeah, this is about your namesake. I'm going to do something I haven't done on this stream yet. I'm very proud that I haven't done it yet, but I am going to do it because I need to do it. Because I don't know what's going on. I'm going to look at the some English translations. Keep the prison committed to Joseph's hand, all the prisoners who were in prison. Whatever they did there, it was his doing. Okay. I'm not sure what that means. What does the commentary have to say? I don't know what this made it to prosper thing is about. Um, in the prison itself, Jehovah was with Joseph, procuring him favor in the eyes of the governor of the prison, so that he entrusted all the prisoners into his care, leaving everything that they had to do to be done through him, and not troubling himself about anything that was in his hand. Okay, so this is okay. So I'm. Oh, whoops! I closed the tab. I should not have done that. What I'm getting here, And this is actually increasing my understanding of the original verse, I think. That that's not actually extra information, it's an explanation of the information that is here. This is directly in parallel for when Potiphar puts all that he owns into the hand of Joseph. So the prison guard, like the warden, I guess, the the keeper of the prison is making Joseph, one of the prisoners, in charge of the prison. Um, okay, so there we go. We figured it out. Awesome. Um, mm, Epali Aleona. Okay. Okay, but this is interesting because this is still saying that he's giving all that they did there. Epaliona. Hmm. Maybe I just lose the e over here. Epaliona. Pimani. Li Pali Pian Yosef. This isn't very clear in the Toki Pona either, though, is the thing. Like, how do these translations do? He was made responsible for all that was done there, uh, in charge of the other prisoners, and over everything that was happening in the prison. See, this is a good translation in that it is understandable and people know what's going on. It's a bad translation in that it does not actually translate the structure or the words or like what is being said, you know? So like if you're just looking to read a story, that's all good and nice and good and whatever, but um like when I am reading this book, I want to know what the original is because I'm curious about the original intent that went into it, less curious about like what decisions a translator has made to make something more readable to an audience. So that's why I'm more interested in the style of translation that I'm doing, which is a more it's not I wouldn't say it's a direct translation because I believe there is no such thing, but it's following the original structure of the Hebrew such that if you are reading this in Tokipona, you know that what you are reading is um, analogous to the original Hebrew, not like something that is made for you to just enjoy, right? It my translation is less of like an art piece and more of a tool for people to access the original Hebrew through Tokipona, I guess, which puts it more in line with the King James Bible than like these other ones up here, right? Um, and they say whatever they did there, it was his doing. Um, I could say pali aleona pimani di tan pali pian Yosef. Hmm. I'm see. I want to move on, but I'm not happy with this because it's like, ah, and all that they did there, it was his doing. Maybe I could do like it pali aleona pimani. Mm, Onaritan lawa. See, that's the thing is that like this is like a word for to do, right? What his job is to lead them. So I think I am happy with this one. Happier. I'm not like super happy with this, but I'm happy enough to move on, I think. Okay. And also this next verse does clarify it a good bit, which is helpful. Um this isn't like the keeper was did not concern himself. This is like there was no keeper of the house concerning himself with all these things. But that's weird. So I'm just gonna. I kind of like the way the English translation set this up. Um, Even though it's not like directly like what the Hebrew is very weird. I think This is often the case in translating the Hebrew. But let's see. Mm. Yanlawa, Pitomo, Awen, Ro'eh. Okay, and that's Pa'al. So it's just did not see all the things, did not see anything in his hand because Adonai was with him. And whatever he did, Adonai made it prosper. Okay, so the prisoners, the prison warden, all the king's horses and all the king's men. That is funny. Now you've cursed me. Thanks, I guess. Um, but damn, now I'm gonna do that anyway. So the keeper of the prison did not see all the things in his hand. Uh, so onarilukin ale iona. Tani Seri Hashem Lilon Poka Ona. Seri Hashem Li. To make prosper, I always like weird with this one. Like, how would you translate that into toki pona? To rush. Okay, so there are two verbs that are spelled the same, and they have different meanings, but they are spelled and pronounced the same. So that's fun. So I guess mani. Mani. Ona li pali la sewi Hashem li waweni. I think that's good. I'm happy with that, even though it's not talking about money, you know? Subtab. Genesis 40. That's right. We just finished Genesis 39. Good job, everybody. Good job, me. Which means we can put 23 here. And let's check our progress. 67.52% done. Wow. Okay. Now, Genesis 40. Officially 4/5 done with the well, maybe not. Maybe? Because, like, it starts with 1, and then this is a group of 10, group of 10, group of 10, group of 10. So, actually, never mind. Almost, but not quite that far through. So, Pona does work for Prosper, actually. Let me think about this. Sewi Hashem li wawaeni. He made prosper. I like it the way it is. I do think Pona could work, and I'll keep that in mind for the future in case I need to use Pona instead of Wawa or something like that. And I might choose to use Pona anyway, you know? But I think the way it is right now, I'm happy with it, so I'm going to move on for now. And then during the proofreading process, I'm going to revise everything. Whenever it's like, and it came to pass after these things, it's just, and it was after these things. So, like, Ionili Pini La. Okay, cupbearer. To bear a cup. La yan pi pana telo. Okay, but is he pissing? No. So I think I'm going to, for this one, I'm going to need to look into BDB. And see if it provides what the shoresh is in any meaningful sense. Maske. Is that the one I'm looking? Yeah, mas. Oh, that's masque, not masque. Mm. Oh, it's actually mash, not mas. But that's just the case. Meme shock. Meshek. Huh. Mishke. To cause to drink water. To give to drink. Okay, this is helpful. This is the word that it comes from. So it's like a causative to drink, right? So I think Yanpi Panatello works. And if people think that it's like, if people think it's pissing, then that's them, you know? Mm. I think I'm gonna. Mm. Yanlawa Pima Mitzrayim La Yanpi Panatello. Okay, this is really hard to translate into Toki Pona because the sentence structure is like so weird and contrived in the Hebrew. So what's going on is the cupbearer of the king of Egypt and the baker offend their lord, the king of Egypt. So Yanpi Pana Tela uh, and Yanpi Pali Pan. Oh, this one's really hard. And this is like to offend. Let's check this one. To sin. So they just sin to their Lord. Okay. Mm, I have an idea. No, I'm gonna keep the names the way that they are now, and there's gonna be a glossary in the back in case people want to check like what which name refers to, because I think it's like totally fine to keep the names in the original Hebrew. I think it's fine to not transliterate things into Tokipona if they're names, you know. I think that that's fine, me personally. So I'm not going to do that because it's also a lot of effort to decide how I'm going to consistently transcribe them, and then also like a lot of the meaning gets lost because like every consonant in a name has meaning, and Tokipona is pro drop for consonants. So I'm not going to bother, and I'm just going to keep the romanization of Hebrew that I'm going with. Um, Pali Tawayan Lawa Pima uh, Ona en Yan Pipali Pan, the mm, Pai Ike, Tawayan Lawa Ona, Tawayan Lawa Pima Mitzrayim. You might be wondering, why am I romanizing these two differently? It's because even though they're the same word, they are spelled differently in the original Hebrew, and I would like to preserve that because I think it's at worst a little bit funny. And at best it might be useful to some people. I don't think it will be. I think it's just a little funny, but like I think that if I didn't do that, then it would feel weird like I have to choose which one I use always. Cuz a lot of words are like spelled two different ways depending on where they are in the sentence. So I'm just going to do both. Okay. Over here we have a new word for and was angry. Cuts off. Be wroth. Just be angry. Okay, so here's a more intense word for angry, I guess, that doesn't mean to become hot. Okay. Yan paro ni pilin utala tawa yan paritu ona tawa yan pi panatelo tawa yan pi pali pan, and I misspelled tawa. Now we have the third verse. Ona li pana ona tawa. Okay, custody. Mishmar. Okay, so this is from Shamar. Okay. Tawa awen. Lon awen. Pi tomo. Pi an lawa. Pi awen tomo. That's quite the noun phrase right there. Awen pi tomo pi an lawa pi awen tomo. I think it's kind of silly, so I kind of don't like it. What about yan ni? Ona lilawa e kulupu pi awen tomo. Okay. And then let's just like continue on from over here. Ona li pana ona. Lon awen pi tomo pi an ni. Ona li lawa e kulupu pi awen tomo. And then we can go back to tawa tomo awen. So there's this funny joke in toki pona spaces that because the numbers go 1 through mute, the biggest number is 3. So that's why all my streams are number 3. So I don't have to change them. And 2, it's a toki pona joke. They should be displayed in order based on when they are. So that should be helpful enough, I think. I don't think there's any need to like have them numbered, you know? Unless people want to like go back and reference them, but who's gonna do that? This is just like one person's little project, you know? Tama awen. Mani yan Yosef li awen lon mani. I'm gonna do ona here because mani yan Yosef li awen lon ona. Right here, the ona is referring to the mani, right? And over here we have the place where, and then this means there. So I'm translating the there over here as ona because it fits into the toki pona structure very well. Translation. Okay. 4. Ian lawa pi kulupu pi awen tomo. Okay, to charge. As that he feel? No, it's pa'a. Okay. Genesis 40, right? A point. Okay. Comma in ni. Yan Yosef. Okay, they're just appointing Joseph with them. They're not appointing him to a position. Even though that's what it said in here. Person over whom. To appoint. This is annoying and weird. I guess he is just appointed to them. So I guess Pali works on Ona. And he served them Vaisaret. Oh, is this like sar? To like minister, serve? Okay. Ministral. Minister of a religion. Higher domestic service. Mm, okay. Wanali. Mm. This one's confusing. I remember also in the past when I translated this in the past struggling with Genesis 40 specifically because of the phrasing. Um, the bad news is that it doesn't get easier after this, so that's fun. Um, Ayan, Yosef, Lon, Ona, Onali, Pali, Lon, Ona, Tenpola, Onali, Lon, Awen. I'm happy enough with that. Oh, okay. Yan tunni, tilukin lape, esitelen lape. And the reason why I'm doing lukin lape, esitelen lape is because this is the verb form of this noun. Like they have the same root, and it's called a cognate accusative. And I think it's fun to preserve those in toki pona. So they had a dream, the two of them. Um, Shnehem. That's like, okay, that's a number. That's fine. Um, each man's dream was in one night. So, so to each, so a person, his dream was in one night. Yan la sitelen lape onalilon pimeawan. Yan la and this it's translating as interpretation, but let's see what it actually means. Ooh. Solution, interpretation, okay. La Yana nasin sona siteren lape nilon. Yan pi pana telo en yan pi palipan li tawa yan lawa ima mitz raim li awen lon tomo awen. Okay. Yan Yosef li kama tawa ona lon tempo pi kama suno li lukine ona li lukine ni. Okay, that's not lukine ni. Hinam. Okay, this is weird because it's like looked at him. Behold them, sad. Osona and then is this just sadness? Be out of humor, vexed, enraged. Genesis 40. So Osona eweka ona eweka ipirin musi. Osona ona eweka ipirin musi. I think that works well. Okay. Onali toki tawayan pari piyan par o. No, it's not. Four humors is not a concept in any of the books. I think it might come up in Kabbalah, maybe. I would be surprised if it did. even. But that's like much later than this. So no. Lon poka. Lon awen tomo pian lawa ona. I think I'm going to get rid of this P here and just say awen tomo. Do I have any other examples of awen pi tomo? Yeah, let's just do that. I think I like having all these prepositional phrases in here and then just going back to any. I think it's fun. What are you going to do about it? Madua. That looks like it's related to da'at. Wherefore, probably contracted from mayadua. What being known. Okay. So I was right. Okay. Tan semela ra'im. Ike. Okay. This is why do your faces look so bad today? Tan semela sinpin sinali ike. Onsunoni. Onali toki tawa ona. Mi lukin lape. Esitlen lape. Taso yan pisona lape. Yan pisona sitlen. Pirin ike. No, I'm using just sinpin sinali ike here because over here, this is the word for bad, not the word for sad, and this is the word for your faces. Penechem means your faces. So why your faces sad today? Literally. Or not sad, sorry. Why your face is bad today? So I'm translating it like that because I think that your face being bad could mean sadness, you know? I don't think it's a stretch. I think it makes sense in the toki pona. Lilon ala. Okay. Okay, what about this? Yan ni lilon ala onali kenpana es sona pisitelen lape. Yan Yosef di toki tawa ona. Question marking particle, negator. To God interpretations. Okay, so Sewi Elohim yo ala yo. I'm using yo ala yo here because it vibes right, I guess. I don't know, because like it's a question particle on the negator directly. So it's like that's basically what this is in toki pona. Not really, but like basically. Do not liole yo e nasin pisona sitanen. Tell them sapru. Oh, recount. Okay. Otoki e ona. This is just otoki tawami. Yan pipana telo Di toki e sitelen lape ona. Tawayan Yosef. Ona di toki tawa ona. Non sitelen lape mi la osona. And this does kind of mean behold, but it's not like a verb that means to behold being used as an imperative. It's just kind of like an interjection that's like pay attention. So that's why I typically translate it as just osana with a colon after it. So it's like behold, a vine was before me. Niña casi lidon sin me. I guess please counts as an intensifier, but I don't. Maybe I don't know. I usually ignore it. It's like it's like a courtesy. It's more of a courtesy than it is, or like a formality, than it is like an intensifier. Um, like if you didn't do it, it would be a little harsher, I think. But if you do it, then it's just kind of normal. But it's also kind of depending on like how well you know people or what their status is in society. Like normal either way, I guess. I don't really treat it as an intensifier too much. Niña casi la branches. Parisa tuan lidon. Hello. Phatic expression. Are you still talking about face being bad? Because like I think it's just like their faces looked like they had negative qualities to them literally, and he's asking why do your faces have negative qualities. I don't think that that's super phatic. I mean, like, unless you're talking about something else, or if you mean idiomatic. Oh, you're talking about please. Yeah, I guess it's phatic. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, it is a grammatical particle that kind of just goes in the sentence after the verb. Um, so it's not like a phatic phrase. It's a phatic particle, but it is like a phatic construction, I guess. I would agree. Um, as though it budded. Okay, time to check the dictionary. Bud, sprout, shoots. Okay. Um, mm, it was a as it was as though it budded, shot forth its blossoms, brought forth its clusters of ripe grapes. But why is he saying it was as though when like that's literally what he saw? So is he really saying it was as though, or is he like kind of phrasing it weirdly? Uh, mm, mm. I'm just gonna ignore the it was as though because I think it's strange, and I think that I would always translate that into Tokipona as just that's what I saw, you know. Um, Onari Pana mm, kasi kule. Well, it is a kasi, so Onari Pana kule. La like a blossom would be like mm, sike maybe. I don't know. I always struggle to describe flowers in toki pona. It's like I know in the past people have discussed using umpa to refer to the flowers because they are like the sexual organs, but I don't like that personally, so I don't want to do that. Hmm. Nitsa. Uh, Kule onali kamasewi. Because this isn't shot forth. This is like rose up kind of, or like rose, I guess. Yeah, went up. Onali pana e kulupu ona pikili pona. Anavim. Enav. Yeah. Okay. Um. Onali pana e kulupu ona pikili. And this is clusters, but what does it really mean? Ah, it means clusters of grapes. Okay, great. Um, Vejos. mm, Poki telo pian pao o lilom luka mi kama yo ekili li weka e telo ona tawa poki pian pao o li pana e poki tawa luka pian pao o. Yan Yosef li toki tawa ona nili sona ona. Palisa tuan la palisa la suno oh la ona li suno tuan. Within now, beod, beod, in yet, so there still exists. Awen la suno tuan di kama. Nilayan par o li isa. Okay. Serie la asina. So this is fun because in Tokipona it's kind of like a double meaning, and in Hebrew it's also a double meaning, and the double meaning's basically the same. It's like he will lift up your head physically, but then Roshecha is like it could also mean like the chiefness, I guess. Like it does literally just mean head, but it can be used metaphorically too, like top of a mountain, highest of stars, head equals chief man, and that's like he was also described as chief. Um, okay, and to restore. Oh, turn back. Pana sin esina tawa, and then kanecha to your office. Tawa parisina. Sina pana e pokitelo pian pao o lon luka ona sama nasin ni pi tempo pini. Sina yan ona pi pana tela. Ki im. I always need to double check ki im. I always forget what specifically it means. Let's see. May not be thy heir. Oh, ki im appears to have the force of only even without a previous negative. Only have me in remembrance with thyself. Tina awen sona emi. Okay, what's the structure here? For if you remember with me when it is well with you and show please to me kindness and make mention of me to Pharaoh and get me out of this house. So then what's the for if here? Maybe it's like kenla. This is Genesis 14. Okay. Ki im. Okay. Only have me in remembrance of thyself. Sometimes also, though rarely and not certainly, appears to have the force of only even without a previous negative. Only have me in remembrance. Okay, so like taso. Taso. O awen em mi lon sona sina lon tempo ni. Ili pona tawa sina. O pona e pona tawa mi. O toki e mi. Okay, make mention. This is like remember me too. Yeah, this is the same word. So, okama e mi lon sona piyan par o. Oweka e mi tan tomo ni. Gunav, I was stolen away. Tani, yan li weka a e mi tan ma pi kulupu ivrim. Kin manila mi pali ala ni ona o pana e mi tawa babor. Okay. Oh, so this is the same word as the word that's used for pit, I think, in Genesis 37. It is. So I think it's fun if we used lupa again. Because it's like him like recounting his trauma. It's like while he's saying this, there's like a flashback to him in the pit. You know? That's kind of fun. Yan lawa. Yan pipali pan. Lilugin Eni. Sona pisitelen lape di pona. Nila onali toki tawahian Yosef af. Is that what that means? Oh, okay. Kin mi non sitelen lape mi. Osona poki tuan lilon lawa mi li yo e panwalo. Poki sewi. Ma Ma'achal. White bread scary. Okay, of Pharaoh. The yo from all. Pokisewi. So this is just like the most high one. So I think just Pokisewi is fine. The yo emoku. Pian paro. Works baked. Pari pan. Because that's ma'aseh, like the thing that, like in modern Hebrew it just means like a job that you work, you know? So palipan works fine, I think. Waso limoko eona tan poki tan sewi pilawami yan Yosef litoki eni nili sona ona poki pan la ona poki pan tuwan la ona li suno tuwan. Awen la suno tuwan ikama ni la yan paro li. Okay, so this is fun. Over here we have Pharaoh will bury you. There's some really interesting. Where's that ona? That ona. So the ona there is in the let's see. Where are we? This means them. It's a pronoun. So it's 3 baskets, comma, they are 3 days. Okay, so but this is interesting over here because over here the wording is very similar between these 2 verses. This is what he says to the cupbearer, right? But what he says to this guy, when Pharaoh is sewi elawasina, he's like raising your head, right? But over here, onari sewi elawasina. Tansina, and then kala. Is this like of a person? Mm. Kama ini. Kasi liyo linya ilawa sina. Waso limoku e cielo sina tansina. So there's a lot of parallelism going on here. There are still 3 days. After that, Pharaoh will raise up your head, but for each one, it means something very different. I think that having preserved that in toki pona, I'm very happy with myself. Suno nanpa tuwan. Oh, the day of the birth of the pharaoh. The suno ni yan paro the kama lanma. Suno open pian pharaoh. So it's literally the day Pharaoh was given birth to. It's weird because over here this really shouldn't have a direct object because it's supposed to be an intransitive version of to beget, but it's like of the begetting that begot him, you know, like, or like in this case it's like to give birth specifically, I guess, because it can be beget or give birth. But those are like two very different days, but whatever. Onali pali e moku suri tawa ale pian paliona. Onali sewi e lawa pian pipanatelo. E lawa pian pipalipan. Lon kulupu pian paliona. This is like batoch is like from like of the in the midst, but I think it's like in the group is basically what it means here, something like that. Onali Yesev. Okay. Onali pana sin e yan pipana telo tawa pana pana telo ona la onali pana e poki telo tawa luka pian pao. Taso yanpi palipan di kamamoli linya samani yan Yosef li toki tawa ona. It seems like you can say the word funky. Because you just did. Is there like a different word that you're trying to say? And not yet did remember the chief cupbearer of Joseph. Okay. Taso ian pipana telo the awen ala sona eyan Yosef the weke sona. Okay, we finished chapter 40, and that's another 23 verses exactly. And now I do this infrequently. Let's add a new subtab here. And let's have 41 through 50. And then here, let's add a subtab. Genesis 41. Weird. That's weird. Okay, let's see how far am I? What is like 5 divided by 4? If I say, sorry, equals 5 divided by 4, and then I put it in a percentage. Oh, 4 divided by 5? No, 5 over 4 is not. Oh, no, it is. 4 out of 5. Okay, I'm about. Why did I need to check what that was in percentages? In any case, I'm doing pretty well. I'm almost a full 4/5 done with the Genesis. And I am over 1/5 done with the entire Torah, which is awesome. And that's not including proofreading. That's just like the baseline translation part. But yeah, that's exciting. I'm going to have a brief bathroom break, and I'll be back like within 2 minutes. I will see you all very soon. I'm back. Hooray. Okay. Let me. One sec. I need to check my calendar because I might have to stop streaming soon to go somewhere and live my life or whatever. I got like a good hour at least. So we're good. Do you think I could do Genesis 41 in an hour? This is like the longest chapter, I think. It's not the longest, but it's like the longest one left in the in Genesis. So that's crazy. Let's try to see how far we can get. Sigue tú y tits. Me kits. End. Okay. Sige tulipini. Ayan para lilukin lape. Okay, so the reason why I'm not saying lilukin lape sita lape is because it just says he dreamed, not he dreamed a dream, which is what has been said every single time up until now. Osona. Onalinoka ema lon telo yor. Hi or. Yor just means river. Okay. But it's okay, it's used to refer to the Tigris in Daniel. But okay, Daniel's in Aramaic, so who cares? 10 seconds should be good. That's normal, I think. Water courses in general. But it's also used like a lot to refer to specifically the Nile, it seems. So, oh, and it is an Egyptian loanword for the Egyptian word for like the river. But like, I mean, if you live in Egypt, the river is going to be the Nile, right? Like where I live in the Twin Cities, the river is the Mississippi River. In New York, the river, well, the river could be the Hudson River or the East River, but so you did have to actually specify. But if it wasn't, if Manhattan didn't exist, it would just be one river, you know, the river. So that's probably not the best example, but like it makes sense that they would use the term that the Egyptians used to refer to their one river to refer to the river in the that the Egyptians had, because that's the word that the Egyptians used to refer to their river. So it's kind of like a band-aid situation where like there are lots of different types of band-aids, but most people only use the brand that's called Band-Aid for years, to the point where Band-Aid becomes the term that we use to talk about. Maybe it's not exactly like that. I don't know exactly what it's like, but it's how it is. So he's by the Nile. Osona tan telo yor la la soeli pipanatelo, right? I mean, like in they have in the past specified lactating mammals over lactating camels over non-lactating camels. So like those would also be, but like their most visually important attribute is their hump, I think. So I think it's okay if I think that the most important thing about cows is that they have milk. So eli luka tu pipanatelo ikama li pona tawa, and then is this of sight? Yeah. Li pona tawa lugin, and then fat choice. Okay, fat. Li suri cielo. Li moku lon kasi pipokatelo. Osona. Soli ante lukatuli kama non monsi ona tan telo yor. Okay, this is the same word that they had for like appearance up here. So fine looking, ill favored doesn't make any sense. They're just the ike tawalukin, the lili cielo, the nokema don poka pi soeli non poka soeli non poka pi teleyor soeli pi ige lukin li moku e soeli pi ige lukin pi lili cielo li moku e soeli pi pona lukin pi suli cielo. I like the way I'm translating this so far. It's coming pretty naturally to me, and I think that it's like there's consistent parallelism in the Toki Pona translation. So I'm happy. Yeah. What is that even? Vayikats. To awaken. But it seems like it's related for this word up here, kets, which means end. So like, I think weka works perfectly. Ayan. Pao o weka tanlape. Ona lilape. Lilukin lape lon tempo nampatu. And even though there is no time here in the Hebrew, I think often in Toki Pona translations, the word tempo comes up to help like describe what things are talking about, because Toki Pona doesn't really have the words that other languages have that have time connotations. So you kind of need to use tempo to be like, oh yeah, this is related to time specifically. Osona. Heads of grain. So is this just... Oh, shibboleth or shibboleth. Oh my god. This is shibboleth. This is the shibboleth. Interesting. Okay. Great. Let's see. Yeah, ear of grain. Okay. Pan lukatu. Ikama. Tankasiwan. I like that, right? Because last time I did this, I know I was struggling a lot with this. But we have 7 grains coming from one plant. And is that in... No, it's not. Okay. Li suli li pona. Osona. Pan lukatu. Lili li. And then they're blighted to scorch to blast. To blight plant disease. Okay. Hikama yaki tan. And then kadim is just a word for the east wind. It also means east. So let's just do tankon pi kamasuno. Likama. And this is yeah, I'm pretty far. Lip Monk is catching on? That's crazy. Thank you. Tsama. Sprout spring up. Okay. Ikamalon Monsiona. Okay, so I need to be paying a lot of attention to parallelism here because there's so much parallelism. This is like a little poetic, right? I don't know if I'm ready to translate some of the actual like poetry chapters, but this is like prose with poetic elements. I'm comfortable um, giving this the care it needs. So, Likamalon Monsiona, we have the cows, right? Yeah, Likamalon Monsiona. Yeah. It's really hard to do parallelism here, though, because the actual structure doesn't actually have that much parallelism, because it's not actually a poem. Um, um, Panlili Limoku e Pan Suli and Full. E Pan Suli Pona. I'm gonna go with Pona because I don't think that they use the word full before. Yeah, they didn't. The question is, why didn't they? Layan pa o iwekatan lape. Osona. Sitelen lape. Just know, dream. It's dream. Okay. Tempo picama sono. La. Okay, was troubled. Pa'am. Vati pa'am. But pa'am means like time. Like moment. Thrust impel. Okay, be disturbed. I don't know why it's giving me Daniel, because Daniel's not in Hebrew. But it's interesting that Daniel keeps like the words that are used here are also used in Daniel in Aramaic, which is a different language but has a lot of words in common. I guess I don't know too much about Aramaic. I guess if or when I get to the book of Daniel, I will have to learn how to read and translate Aramaic for that, which will be fun. I think it won't be too difficult for me because Aramaic is like Hebrew but a little different, you know? Um, be disturbed. So I guess pirinike. Con onari pirinike. Onari tawa e yan i alesakama e yan ale piwawa nasa lon ma Mitzrayim e yan ale pisonawawa. Onali toki and ni. Oh, and they recount. Okay, but I misunderstood. Yan paro li toki e toki e sitelen lape ona tawa ona taso yan nili lon ala ona li ken pana e sona ona tawa yan paro. That's a very long verse. There's Aramaic before Daniel. Where else is there Aramaic? Where is there Aramaic in the Bible? Oh, Ezra. Um, Interesting. I didn't know that it was also Ezra. There's a little bit. Oh my god, wait, this word was Aramaic? Oh, that's funny. I need to add a footnote. Actually, why don't I do that right now? 31. Mm, huh, okay. 47. Mm, okay. Uh, 님이 얘가 이렇게 내가 기분 못해. 그래서 니가 얘가 알아. Okay. My new version is going to be Niri toki iwi ala toki. What's the Aramaic word for Aramaic? Aramit. Alami. Let's do alami. Okay. Litoki alami. No litoki ma sama. Taso niri toki ante. Uh, toki alami la niri nenapi hiwen mute. Pian lukin pona. Onalilon toki iwi. Mi gali toki e nenapi kiben mute. Nimi edi lidon poka li toki e yanpi poka sona. Yan poka sona. Nimi niri kama ala ante non tempo ni onari kama wan li toki ama. Okay, I'm happy with that. I didn't know that that was Aramaic. That's really funny, actually. Is there anything else in Genesis that I missed? No. Oh, but there might be. Genesis 15. B'machazeh. Okay, well, whatever. That's enough for me. That's fun. That's fun. I didn't know that. That's just one word, though. Um. Anyway. Yanpi pana. Telo li toki tawa yan pa o. Eni. I remember my thoughts this day. Suno. It's gonna end with lon suno ni. And then it's gonna be Ige mili kama sin tawa sona mi lon suno ni. Yan par o the Katsaf. Is this the newish one? Ipilin utala tawa yan pali ona. Lipana e mi tawa awen tomo piani ona li lawa e kulupu awen tomo. Ona li pana e mi e jan pi pari pan. Okay, we each had. This is okay. Uh, it's just plural. Okay. Mi lukin lape. Siteren. Siteren lape. Dan pimeo one. Mi and ona. Wait. Me and ona li lukin. There we go. Each of us, according to the interpretation, dreamed his own dream. Okay. Yan the ona li lukin lape siteren lape ona. Sama sona siteren. According to the interpretation. Lon nasin pi sona sitelen. Mani la lon poka mi la yan pi kulupu ivri yan pari pi yani ona li lawa e kulupu pi awen tomo. So much ona li lawa e kulupu pi awen tomo. Mi toki tawa ona. La ona li pana e sona. Pi siteren lape mi tawa mi. Yan la ona li pana e sona. Pi siteren lape ona. Ona li pana e sona. Tawa mi. Da. Nili kama tawa mi. Ona li sewi e mi. Panasin. Ona li panasin e mi tawa pali mi. I guess nili kama. Li moli linea e ona. Let's see, questions. If I leave them in the original script, nobody will know at all how to pronounce them because nobody can read the original script. This is my project, though. I can do whatever I want. I'm choosing to not leave it in the original Hebrew because I don't think that that would be helpful to anybody. I do think that seeing the original Hebrew version of the names makes it more culturally neutral. It only makes it more culturally important to the language that it was actually originally written in, which is fine in my opinion, because this book was written in biblical Hebrew, so that doesn't matter. It can be culturally unneutral in favor of Hebrew if that's the origin of these terms. I think instead of like transcribing the endonyms, just like romanizing them is a good idea so that people can like read what the letters are, and like make guesses as to how it's pronounced. And I'll have a pronunciation guide for my Romo. But other than that, I will not expect anybody who's reading this to be able to read the Hebrew script. Um, Maybe a few of them would, but it wouldn't be common. Most people who read the Bible all across the world do not know any Hebrew at all, even how to read it. So I'm keeping seated in nasi now. Let's see. Yan pa o itawae yan di alasa kama e yan Yosef. Onariweka. Okay, brought him out quickly to run. Okay, but this is Hefil, so they're making him run. Onari kama ni yan Yosef li tawawawa tan lupa. And he shaved and changed his clothing. Okay, he shaved. I didn't know that this word existed. Ooh, to be bald. But it means to shave off. Onari weka e linea. I think he just gets rid of the hair on his face, right? He's not going bald. Because baldness is like this whole thing. Weka e linea sinpin. I'm just gonna do onari weka e linea because people can assume that it's not on his head if they want to, and if they want to assume that he's removing all of his hair and he's waxing his whole entire body, I think that's on them. Because like onari weka e linea could mean like what hair is he removing? Probably just on his face. Probably. I don't know. I've never like read the Bible before. I don't know what's going on. Totally haven't translated this exact part into toki pona already a year ago. Okay, changed his clothing. To change, renew, pass on. And it's PL. Cause to change. So I guess ante works fine. And then clothing. Simlotav. Yeah, okay. The ante then ona. The kama tawayan pao. Okay. Yan pao. The toki tawayan. Yan. Yosef. Mi lugin lape e sitelen lape. Yanililon ala. Onali ken pana e sona ona. Taso. Mi kute e ni. Taso mi kute e lonsina. Yanli toki e ni. Sina sona. Sina kute, because this is just to hear. Shama. Tishma chalom lepetor oto. Okay. Sina kute e sitelen lape tawan ni. Sina pana e sona ona. Yan Yosef li toki. Tawayan pa o eni. I don't know how to break this part down. Without me. Okay. Nilon alami. Sewi edo. Oh, whoops. Thank you, Command Z. Zewi Elohim. Ya'atet. Pana. Lipana Esona Sui. Esona ni Onali Sui Tawayan Hao. I guess, because it's like peaceful, like well-being of the pharaoh. He will answer the well-being of the pharaoh. So, but he's not giving information that's going to be Sui Tawaf Yan Pharaoh. Oh wow, so many more people are watching than were watching before. Sona Pete Pian Pona Pian Pao. Well, it's not directly peace. It's like, okay, when people, this is true in biblical Hebrew and modern Hebrew, but the modern part isn't important here. The important part is that in biblical Hebrew, um, to ask what someone's peace is to ask them how it's going, how what's hanging, you know, like what is your peace? Um, or you can also ask it about other people, like, oh, what's his peace? What's her peace? And then you can answer, oh, all is in order. Um, Hakol Beseda, right? So, um, I don't think Awen really works. I think it's like, I don't know. I think this is good because it's like, I'm going to actually check though. 4116. The all is in order. It is not in it is not in me. God will give Pharaoh an answer of peace. The answer he desires. Oh, okay. But it's like he will answer he will give an answer and then the answer will be the peace of Pharaoh. So and then in toki pona to answer is to give information of. So I think that this translation is fine, and if it's not, the proofreader will tell me by mistranslating it in the back translation. Yan pa o toki tawayan Yosef sitin labemi la osona. And now this is the part where the pharaoh completely recounts his entire dreams again and wastes so much of my time by doing it all to Joseph. And they put it all in here. They don't just say, and then he said what he had done, or he said what he had dreamed. They say exactly what he says. So I stood on the bank of the Nile. So I could just take this. Sona mi mi noka emalon telo yaor. So in Hebrew, ha-yaor is in the Nile, and that's because yaor is a direct loan from the Egyptian word for river. And in Egypt, when people said the river, they meant the Nile. So it just became synonymous with Nile, even though it was originally like a term that could refer to any river. And in Hebrew, that was loaned as the word for the Nile specifically. Though it is sometimes used for other streams, I guess, because it's weird, but like here we know it's the Nile, you know? Okay. Suddenly out of the river came up seven, right? Osona sorry. 7 cows, fat of flesh, fine looking. Okay, so they actually changed the order around here. So they actually have this here. But other than that, it's exactly the same as it was before. Wow, really just like copy my homework and change it a little bit so the teacher doesn't notice. Like literally. And now, how much do they change this? Behold, 7 other cows came up after them. And then there's no from the Nile here. And then now we have poor, dalot, the poor. Huh? But there's no Genesis here. It's in Genesis, no? Emblem of famine. Why doesn't BDB have it? Okay, well. Okay, let's see. Favored. This is Ikeselo. And Gaunt. Okay, I know what Basar means. It means flesh. But this one, Rakot, thin of flesh. Lilicielo. But this is weird because it's like this. I know this means the poor, but it's like poor of what? Like, it might just be redundant, and I might just have to deal with that, you know. And that might just be sad. Y no cae malo en pocas already. Okay. Me looking a la e io sono ona non ale pima Mitzrayim tawa ike tan ike. So that part's not there anymore, and the like Lili Mani is like I know what I'm gonna do. Wawa Lili. So here we go. Behold, 7 other cows came behind them. They were poor, ill, favored, which is bad of shape, and very, okay, missed that part, and gaunt, which is thin of flesh. I have not seen like them in all of the land of Egypt for bad. Okay. And then let's take this one. See how similar it is. So AP. Okay. This is thin, right? Yeah. So AP li cielo. Mm, haraot. Sorry, ike pililisiero. Okay. Li moku e soweli. Sorry. Lugatu. Open. Pisuli. Cielo. Okay, so it didn't really resemble it too much. So there was only one verse of switch it up a little bit so the teacher doesn't notice. Let's see. Oh, okay, so we actually get more information here. Yeah, I think more people should be more okay with more P. Oh, I know that word. Wait. And they had devoured is to come? And this is verse 21? Yeah. Fatkin, when eaten by leankin, come in. Damn. Okay, that's all I'm gonna get, I guess. Okay. Kirbena. God, I'm having so much trouble understanding what's going on here because this means two. This means the they feminine will come. Maybe? Yeah. No. Came. They came to among them. Oh, I don't really use Sita and Pono too much these days. I would probably use uh like spacing to indicate it. Like put the P phrases like under the noun that they're modifying. I guess like on different lines. But also like there are lots of ways to do it and they're all fine. Mm, yeah, so this is to come into. To come. Come in of food and drink. So when the food and drink came in. Onarikama tainsa. Sorry. La yan ala li sona en ni. Onarikama tainsa ona. Tawalukin la onari ike. Sama. Okay, and then this is Tehila. Okay. So I'm gonna open. Iwega tan lape. Wow, that was a doozy. That one was very difficult. I hope you all enjoyed me struggling. Let's update this so I can see how much I've been going at it. 12, 17 verses fully translated. Awesome. So many. And remember, each verse is at least one sentence, but usually two or more sentences. So that's a lot of sentence. Mm. Lami Lukin Osona. Okay. Seven heads came up on one stalk. Full and good. Yeah. Okay. Exactly the same. And then the next one. Uh, Seven heads withered. Okay, so this actually is contrastive parallelism. So it would be nice to use a different word than the one I used before. Sona pan Luca to Dio alla a etela lili li kama pagala tan konpi kama suno li kama lan moziona. Okay, so it's a little different. And then we have and then devoured. Pandili moku. Okay, so this one's not going to be the same. Let's see. Okay, that is the same actually. Mi toki tawa yan piwawan nasa. Taso yan nililonara. Onali pana son. Can pana sona ona. So my guide is like a retelling or something. Declaration, okay. Be conspicuous. God. Announce, okay. Hold on. The one before this. Yanililon ala. Toki. And the most recent one. Okay. This is before Joseph comes up. Okay, so we're good. Okay, we can move on. Yan Yosef Toki tawa yan pao. Sitelen lape pian pao. La ona li one. And you might be wondering why ona here, because this is a preposition. I mean, this is a pronoun. This means he, not are. But it's used in a position where I could see why an English speaker might think it means are, because it's like there is no copula, and instead you have the pronoun that would describe the thing. You know? So like it does kind of more mean are, but it's more like is, you know? Hmm. Sewi Elohim Ipana Higid. That's Magid again, right? Yeah. Ipana e sona ni tawa. Sorry, I got distracted. I got an email on my phone. Where was I? Sorry, Elohim Ipana e sona ni tawasina. Onari seme. Onari pari seme. Sobeli Lugatu Pona La Onali. No. Wait, La Ona. I did this before. Hold on. Did I mess this up? Let's see. 3 baskets. Oh, I did. It's just the li. Alright. Anyway. What verse was I at? There we go. Sike Lugatu. Pan Lugatu Pona. The Sike Lugatu. Seated in Labeliwan. I'm also going to get rid of this because it really is just being used as a copula. It isn't being used as a copula, but it's there and there is no copula. So it looks like it's being used as a copula. So it's kind of being used as a copula, but like also copulas are fake and everything's fake and language is just fake. You know, like there is no such thing as using things as things. You say things and then people hear them, and then there's usually not intention behind it. If you're like a very proficient speaker, you just say the your brain will automatically turn the concepts inside of your brain into stuff that you can talk to people about. So like there, it's not acting as a copula. It is there consistently, and there is no copula there as a verb or as a particle consistently, and it is a pronoun. So is it a copula? You tell me. Okay. 27. So I need Luca to. Ike pi lili cielo. Ikama lon monsi ona. Li sike lugatu. And is that the same? Yeah. Pan lugatu. Lili. Ikama pakala. Tankon. Pikama suno. Li. Here we actually do have a copula, which is weird. Onali kama onali sike lukatu oweka pona piweka moku. Nili iyo ni mi toki e ona toyan pao. Okay, well this is obviously cognative accusative with that, so it's nili toki ni mi toki e ona toyan pharaoh. Okay. Seri Elohim Pana looking at ni tawayan pao. Onari pali seme. Osona sike luka tu the kama. Plenty of great throughout all the land of Egypt. The yo ale the suli don ale pima Mitzrayim. Tasso sike luka tu piweka moku ikama lon monsiona. And this is, we've been using this visual metaphor before, so I am using monsi here to mean after, like time, right? However, it definitely works because I already have the visual metaphor. Sorry, I was just like tapping my microphone and it stand and it was moving and you probably heard it. Nishkach, to forget? Yes. Ale yo bima Mitzrayim iweka tansona weka moku tempo piweka moku hila kala ipakala ema. Yan ala yan li sona ala e ale yo lon ma because of the face. This is from the face of, not because. But you know, the face of the famine. Tan weka moku ni Onari kama lon monsi. Onari. Is this gonna be wawa? Yeah. Onari wawa mote. Okay. Was repeated. To change to repeat to do again. Shana. Oh yeah. That also means year, because years repeat. Um, let's see. Yan pao oli. Looking lape. You looking sitelen lape. Tempo tu tani. Establish, make firm. Is this the one that's used for that one column in that one other chapter? Kun. Tani. Yonili. Kama a. Tan poka pi sewi Elohim. Sewi Elohim. And will shortly. What is that? Oh, this is the one for hasten. Maha. Okay. Kameni. Non tempo kama poka. And pari is better there. Alright, what do we have next? Tempo ni la yan pao o. Oh. And this is to see. Okama e yanni. Okama looking at yanni. Ona the discerning, the wise. So what does discerning mean in English? Having good judgment. Okay. I think it's like has to do with decisions. Ona the toki uide pona. The sono wawa. Sheet. Oh, like from Yiddish, shitarein, put in. Yeah. If you're a Lipa Monker, then you know what shitarein means. And if you're my grandma, you know what shitarein means, because you're the one who told me what it means. That's pretty cool. Anyway. Oh, it's getting really hot in here. And I do have to go soon. But until then, I don't have to go. Pane ona Zanlawa Tawama Mitzrayim. Yan par o pali ni ona o pakad. This is 41, right? Yeah. Ona kama e E lawa tawa yan lawa tawa ma. To take a fifth from the land of Egypt in 7 years, the plentiful. Ono kama yo. Sino luka ema la malili luka ilon. Kama yo e pan. O kama yo e ia tan malili wan ni. Lon sike luka tu pi yomote. And let them gather. Yeah, okay. Oh, this is the same as the shoresh for kibbutz. No, Hebrew ruined for me forever. Okay. And let them gather all the food of years. Ono kawayo e alemoku. Pisige pona. That are coming these. 35. Joseph will just not shut up. Ugh. Sige pona kamani. Tavar. O kamai pan. La nena. Anpa lawa piyan pao. Moku pima tomo ale. Mocha. Wait, I said mocha and I spelled it mocha and then I corrected myself speaking but not writing. That's funny. Moki pima tomo. Ono awen. Yeah. I'm kind of speeding through this without explaining my thoughts because my thoughts would be kind of repetitive, I think. Yeah. Niri kamamoku tawa and then reserve deposit. Tawa tomo yo tawa ma. Lon sike luka tu pi wega moku ni. Onalikama lon ma Mitzrayim. Ni la nif'al of persons usually translated as perish, but it means to cut. Yan. I could keep this by saying nila yan and kon onali kama ala tu. But there's no kon ona here. Nila ioli tu. Nila ioli tu ala e yan. Oh no, that doesn't work either. I'm just gonna use Molly. Mali Pagala maybe? Mali Kama Ala Molly. Non tempo pi wekamoku. Brief bathroom break, and then I will be back and I will try to finish this chapter, but I probably won't get to the end of it before I have to go. So stay tuned. BRB. Boo! I'm back. Ha ha ha. Ah. Every day I go a little bit more crazy. Alright, hold on. Wow, I go to the bathroom and three more people join my stream. That's very funny. Is my is my screen on? Should be. Yeah. Okay. Alright, we're back. Awesome. Let's go on to. You see me? Wow. You see my screen, I think. So good was the advice in the eyes of Pharaoh. So this is like just. Toki di pona tawayan pa o. Tawayan pali aleona. Yan pa o toki tawayan pali ona. So I was like, who can you think of that God has blessed and is wise and stuff? Joseph's right there waiting to be chosen. Kind of funny. God, I should rewatch the Joseph movie after I'm done with this entire story so I can be like, ah, yes, these things. You know, I have not watched that since like before I first translated the story of Joseph into Tokipona. For the Bible translation project thing. They can still use my translations if they want. I'm redoing them for this so that it won't be like a conflict and I can license these however I want without worrying about them. You know, Mikan can kamalugin iyan. There's no we here. It's just nif'al. It's can be found. But I think it's fine if we do Mikan Anakin, you know? I really like the Joseph animated movie. I did really like it. I thought that the way that they did the art styles was really nice. Uh, I think their quality, for me, their quality is comparable, but I also haven't watched either of them in a while, so I'm probably going to rewatch them at some point. I kind of want them to make more of them, but like if they did, it would just all be about genocide. You know, like maybe they could do like a short film about Daniel. I don't know too much about the prophets. They could do Job, but I feel like that would just be like a downer, you know? And then also Job is so weird. Um they could do Ruth. You know, Ruth movie would actually be really 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 fun. They could modernize it. They could make it like a hyper tech Israelite society. That would be really funny. As long as they're not speaking with Israeli accents. Because if they're speaking with Israeli accents, then nuh-uh. That ain't it. Ruth would be a really good movie, yeah. Um, Jonah would be a really good like short before the movie starts. You know, like you know how Pixar movies start with like there's a short and then there's the Pixar movie. They could do that with Jonah. I think gets eaten by a big fish. It's not a whale. It's just a big fish in the original Hebrew. Um, Ayan samani kon. How do I do the Spirit of God in Genesis 1? Kon. Oh, I just do Kon Elohim. Okay. I'll keep that consistent here then. Kon Elohim Lilon Ona. Yan pa o toki tawayan Yosef. Seri Elohim li pana e sonare. Li pana. Yeah, this is yada. Sona alini tarasina. Fish gender change birth joke in toki pona. I don't know what the fish gender change joke is. Yanili lon ala lon pokasina la onali toki ewide pona li sona wawa samasina kamocha. Wait, Micha Mocha is who is like you. Ah, I never realized that before. There's a song that I sing at my Shabbat services that's called Micha Mocha. And that's what it means. Me means who and Chamocha means as you. So who is like you, you know? That's cool. Okay. Let's get locked in because if I finish this chapter before I have to leave, then how many chapters is that I did today? I think I was working on this when I Yeah, I was like halfway through Genesis 39. So that's like I mean, I've already impressed myself with how much I've done today. But like we're over 80% now. 1235 verses. That's pretty cool. We're like making it there. We're doing it. We're doing it, folks. Anyway, let's get back to doing it. And by we, I mean I'm doing all the work so far, except for a few proofreaders, but you know. In Jonah, the fish's gender changes to female when he is spit onto land by the fish, so it's like the fish is giving birth to him. Oh, interesting. But then also fishes change biological sex. So that's also interesting. I need to reread Jonah. It's been a while. I don't remember what happens. Sina. Kama. Lawa e. Tomomi. Picha. This is like mouth, not your word, your mouth, yeah. Utasina la. To kiss. This isn't your word shall be ruled. This is your mouth shall kiss all my people. Oh my god. Oh, that is rich. That's hilarious. To thy mouth all people shall yield. Fit, adapt themselves, compare Arabic. Okay, Arabic is fasten together, arrange in order. Okay. Desina li utalawa. I think just because of how funny it is, I'm gonna go with utalawa here. Iwi la uta sina li uta olin e ale pikulupumi. Sasona li toki e ni. Toki sina li lawa e ale pikulupumi. Uta sina li lawa e ale pikulupu mi. Supa sewi taso. La mi sewi lon poka sina. Oh, this is just to become big. Okay. Suli. Yan pa o toki ta yan Yosef. Lugin. Mi pala esina. So he's repeating this again. Okay. Tawa ale tima it's lime. Yan paoli. This is to turn away or turn. Yeah. Because sa, you know, turn aside. What does he feel? Liweka e sike luka ona. Tan luka ona. Well, I don't need the luka there if it's over here. Sike ona tan luka ona. Pana e ona. Non luka piyan Yosef. Onari pana e. Then fine linen. Shesh means 6. Huh? Shayish means alabaster. Okay. Bisis? Oh, so it's a specific. Flax. Helen Sui. And then I will write the footnote in later when I'm feeling more peace of mind. Add footnote here about the flax, fine linen. What is it again? And then I'll copy this for myself. Yeah, okay, great. Lensui, Tawana, Bipana e, and then we have a chain over here. So he's blinging him up with a chain. Pana e. Niña, Tiwen yellow mani. Lon. Anpa pilawa ona. Onadi kamae ni. Onadi. Tawa. Okay. Only tawa lon. And then this chariot word. Merkava. Lon. Irata. Soli. Nampatu. Piyo ona. This is the second one that Pharaoh has. This is like his second favorite chariot. He gets the favorite one, but Joseph gets the second favorite one. Oh, I remember struggling a lot translating this part before. This is an adverb. Okay, many, meaning dubious. Many origins proposed. I'm just going to have them say mu and add a footnote. Yanli imulon sinpin ona. Mu ah. I will need to read some biblical commentaries about that because that's really interesting. Um, this is not a Hebrew word. We don't know what language it actually is in. Ona lipana e ona tawa ale pima mitzrayim. Yan pa o. How much more do we have? We're on 44 and we have 57, I think. Yeah. Okay. So we're actually. I could finish this in the next half hour. I think actually, if I lock in. Let's lock in. Let's do it. Let's just finish, okay? And then I'll end the stream. Yan pao toki tawa yan Yosef mi yan pao and apart from you bil ade okay, so apart from you sina ala sina weka la yan ale weekend and then yarim. Okay. Sewi eluka ona enoka ona. I am Pharaoh, and apart from you, no man may lift his hand or foot in all of Egypt. Okay. Yan Yosef. I think I like Muwawa here because I like to imagine that this is all happening while Pharaoh is like proclaiming this to a crowd of adoring Egyptian citizens. There's no J there, it's a Y. Okay, Yosef. And then Safnat Patne Ner. And that will need a footnote because I think people will want to know what this means. But I am not going to figure that out now. Oh, the God speaks and he lives. But that's Egyptian. The meaning is dubious. Okay, I will have to do research into that. Pana e Emily Asnat Ayan Asnat Meni Karma Pian Poti Fera Yan Pi Paliseri and Ma on Tawa Ona Lon Wan Lawa Yan Yosef Di Tawa Ma Mitzrayim. 46. Wow, I'm really speeding through this. Okay. Yan Yosef li yan pisike 30. Un tempo ni. Ona li noka ema nan sinpin pi yan pa o. Yan lawa pi ma mitz raim. Yan Yosef li tawa tan sinpin pi yan pa o. Oh, I just got an ad on my phone, watching the stream on my phone, saying 5 types of childhood trauma. I don't care. I don't believe that it knows what the 5 types of childhood trauma are. In my training that I have had before, I have learned of 4 types of childhood trauma, not 5. So I don't know. Maybe there's a 5th one that they came up with. Who knows? Maybe there's a completely different list. Maybe it's written by AI. I mean, the image was anyway. The tawa ale pima mitzrayim. So this one verse is just trying to say how old Joseph is when he did these things. He was 30 years old. Mali kama e sike lukatu likmatsim. Oh, plenty of handful. Lukatu pi yoni. Luka mute li ken yoona. Sike luka tu ni. Luka mute li ken yo ona. Yo epan. Okay. There we go. I like that because it translates this directly. Oneli kama yo moku ale pisige lukatu. Moku ale ni pisige lukatu. Oneli lon ma mitzrayim. Onali pana laid up. Yatan. That's just to put. Yes. Pana moku tawama tomo. Moku pi ma kasi. Moku li tan ma kasi ni ona li lon sike li lon weka pi ma tomo. Ona li pana epan lon insa pi ma tomo. I added a bunch of extra words there. I think I'm going to double check this and see if there's a different way I can phrase it that I'm more happy with. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And he laid up the food in the cities. Yeah, okay, great. The food of the fields of every city which surrounded them, he laid up in the midst. Okay. Let's keep that there. Onali pana e moku. Ma tomo ale La ona li pana e moku ni lon insa. Ona li tan ma kasi pi poka ale non sike. That's good. Okay. Yan Yosef. Li kama yo e pan. Sama. Okay. Chol means sand. Huh. This is different from the normal chol, which means all. Sama ko pi telo suli. Harbe. Oh yeah, that's just Rav. Okay. Onoli suli mute a tawani. Onoli pini e alasa nava tani. Well, there was no measurement. There was no amount. Nagadi nonala. Only says 8 more verses left. 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 66, 57. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, almost done. Yan Tawa Yan Yosef La Mie Tu Biterem. Okay. Ikamalon tempo ni. Wega moku. Ikama ala. Yan Asnat Ipana Ya ona tawa ona. Meli Kama Pian Poti Fera Yan Seri. Is that how I did it before? That's how I did it before. Okay. Yan Yosef li pana e nimi. Menashe. Nashani. Okay, what is this verb? To forget. Oh. Tani. Seri Elohim. Kamaeni. Sona. Pi. Ikeale. Mi. And Sona. Tomo pi mama mi. Iweka. Tan. Sona mi. And then about how the name means PL, yeah. One who forgets. Is it one who forgets? Menashe comes from the word for to forget. That's kind of cute, don't you think? Oh, 52. Oh. Tarayan Kamanampa 1. There we go. Nimi Pian Nampa 2. The Ephraim. It means fruity. Footnote about how this means fruity. I'm so close to finishing the chapter. Tani Sewi Elohim Isama Kiri Ema Igemi Emani Onari Ike Tawami. And then the famine begins. Sike Lukatu Pio Mute Divnon Ma Mitzrayim Lipini. Sige Lukatu Piweka Moku Di Kama Samatoki Piyan Yosef Weka Moku Dilon Ma Ale Tasoma Mitzrayim La Palilon Ale Pi Ma Mitzrayim Li Wile Moku La Kulupu Limuwawa. Okay, wait, I got the ad back. Let's see. Verbal abuse, physical abuse, abandonment trauma, witnessing violence, and emotional neglect. Well, abandonment trauma and emotional neglect are usually both called neglect. Oh, the ad went away. Okay, never mind. I have 7 minutes left to finish this. Ha. Limuwawa Tawayan Pao Tawa Pan Layan Pao Itoki Tawa Ale Pima. Oh. Alepi Kulupu Mitzrayim. No, that's Ma. Because Mitzrayim is the place. Otawa Yan Yosef. Opali Aleni. Onari Toki. Onari Toki Tawasina Lao Palini. 56. Second to last. Weka Moku Lidon Ale Ma Yan Yosef reopen Asher does not mean the storehouses. It means that all that in them. Because this is patach, this is open. So Joseph opened all that in them and sold to the Egyptians and became severe the famine. Huh? Bahem. Okay. 4156. What does King James New of King James Version say? The storehouses. Okay, but there's no word for storehouse. American Standard Version. Okay, that's with a dash. Why? But why do they all say storehouses if there's no word for storehouse? Does this mean storehouse? Once in this one verse, maybe. Genesis 41. Okay, that's not helpful. You open it. Ale ni. You open it ale lon ona. Okay, maybe it's just all the things, you know? The shvor. Okay. Es un pan. This is like to buy or sell specifically grain? Yes. Tawa. Kurupu Mitzrayim. Weka moku rikama. Surimute nonma. Mitzrayim. 57. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Okay. Ale. Ma ale likama. Tawa ma. Mitzrayim. Divide esun pan. Tawayan Yosef. Tani. Weka Mogoli. Wawa. Don Ma'ale. Done. I did it. I have 2 minutes left. Okay. 57. How far are we? Very far. Good job, Libamanka. I did it. And I did it without rushing myself, I don't think. I made sure that all the translations that I did were good. I have some footnotes that I still got to do, but I did it, and I have 2 minutes until I need to leave, and I still need to like eat a snack before I go. So I'm gonna end the stream immediately. Goodbye.